Hey guys, Trick Rabbit John coming at you with another Awaken Chaos Era video. On today's video, what we're going to be talking about is going to be the limited summons, what you should know about them, as well as the upcoming Magic Pass, if it's going to be worth it, what character is going to be represented on the Magic Pass, and about what you should really think and expect when purchasing it. All right, we are back. Now, I did want to preface this with the whole limited summons. I did not do a video on the last limited summons because it was Gangelo, and I didn't want my biased opinion because I think, well, Gangelo is like a god tier champion. I didn't want to give you a biased opinion as far as like if you needed to pull in that banner. We do have a different rotation, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I feel like this rotation it's a pretty solid one as well. It's a good viable options. It doesn't limit you to what the last banner did, where you kind of really only wanted one character. Granted, Blackhorn was an amazing one to have as well, but for the most part, people only wanted one character, and so everyone was getting a little hoodwinked on that one. This one has a lot more diversity, and I'm noticing a certain pattern. It seems like when they're giving us these characters on these banners, that they're giving us one character that's kind of less sought after, and at least two that are very sought after, which is probably a very smart business tactic on their end, right? So let's talk about the champions that you can get on this one, and let's talk about where you're going to use them, why you would want them, and which ones are going to be acceptable to have duplicates of. So let's go ahead, let's kick it off here. So you see we have Yolanda, Ciara, and Siress. Now, most of you know who Siress is. She's an amazing champion. She's actually probably one of the strongest nuking fire single target damage dealers. You can synthesize her. So she is someone you can get a lot of dupes of. Most people use this character to actually complete the foodie quest that requires 4 of the Ascension 4 of a Lego. Siress is usually the one that people knock out because you can create all 5 of her from other champions. With that being said, she's not really going to be a target of this limited summons. However, she has an amazing kit to where it's okay if you get her. It's going to feel a little bad. It's going to gross you out just a little bit because, yeah, you can synthesize her, but at the same time, it saves you time, energy, and resources that you wouldn't necessarily have had to spend, if you just pull her on this banner. So that's something to keep in mind if you do pull a Siress and you get upset. Okay. Now let's talk about the other characters. And the reason why we didn't go into that one is because she's a synthesis. You can read her kit at any time. Your chances are you're going to make her. But let's talk about the other 2 champions, because these ones are the ones that are going to be, you can only get them by pulling for them, other than Ciara. All right, Yolanda. Now, Yolanda, I have to scratch my head because she's just she's painful. She is one of those champions where when you face her, you know you're going against Yolanda. She has an ungodly amount of shields. So this grants a shield to all team members for 3 turns. Shield strength scales with the amount of health lost by each member. The shield greatly increases crit resistance. Like, this is insane amount of shield. On top of that, she also has another ability which allows the team member at the end of the turn to go again. So she literally gives them attack up and immune, and then they get to go again. So if you tune this correctly, which there are a lot of dungeon comps out there that are tuned correctly, that allow for multiple turns. For example, Zatlux and Yolanda on Queen of Tides 14 synergize to get the waves knocked out. So definitely something to keep in mind of. A lot of people sleep on this grants bonus turn when it comes to Yolanda. She also has a deal 60% damage to an enemy and removes 1 negative effect from an ally. This literally means, like, as she does an attack on her A1, she then gets to cleanse somebody. So she has a built-in cleanser. Granted, it's only 1 negative effect from an ally. And I believe it usually is the highest attack percentage ally that it affects first. And that's the pecking order as it goes by attack. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So she has a cleanse, she has amazing shields, and she does a bonus turn. So we know this about her. What does her passive do? This is where everyone gets irritating. At the start of every round, grants guard for 1 turn to whichever ally has the lowest health when guard is triggered or removed under a 4-turn cooldown. Upon taking massive damage, this character will not die and some health will be restored. Literally, it's a stopgap. This is oh crap, I got nuked down. Oh, I had guard. It's okay. I now have a bunch of health and my character didn't die. This is why everybody hates fighting Yolanda in Arena and Endless Trials and Void Tower and all these contents out there. You don't like to face Yolanda because of the stupid guard that does not allow you to nuke someone down. It's very frustrating. I beat Void Tower hard, and the whole time, anytime I saw Yolanda, I cussed her out. Wasn't fun. But with that being said, she can also be yours in limited summons, and you can also transfer those feelings onto someone like me who gets triggered. All right. Next character we're going to talk about is going to be Ciara. Now, most of you should know Ciara. She is part of the Covenant missions. However, she's super hard to get. You have to, not only do you have to beat all the bounty hunts, but you also have to beat all of Void Tower hard at least once, all the way up to 100, to unlock Ciara. That's a huge stopgap for a lot of people because as a free-to-play player, you're really struggling to get to Void Tower hard 100. But if you had a Ciara, you could easily do it. Well, I shouldn't say that. That was a lie. It makes it easier to go to Void Tower hard 100 with a Ciara. That's what I meant to say. Okay. Now, the reason why she's so impactful and definitely worth pulling for is because of her ability right here. When the enemy's health is under 50%, deals 70% damage to all enemies, can only be triggered once every 3 rounds. Now, this scales up to 100%. And honestly, I don't know what the modifiers are, but oh my gosh, does she do so much damage. So you literally come in, you knock down the character, you get them to 50% HP or less, and it automatically triggers Dark Spread, which nukes them down, and it's just a massive AoE nuke. So you can single attack somebody and then get an AoE out of it. You put her in Avarice set, and this nuke helps just clear waves. It clears everything for you. This is what made Void Tower hard a lot easier for people, is because they only had enough gear for like one super good character, and they were just able to nuke it down from there. The other thing she has on her kit that's notable is her A1, which is increased damage taken for 1 turn. This is very impactful because it's plus 30% damage taken. So it's essentially, think of it like a defensive down, but like in between defensive down, right? From defensive down 1 to defensive down 3. It's kind of like another one to get applied with them, so to speak. This also applies focus boost on self and deals 80% damage, which is great because this allows for more focus on her. So if you put her in certain sets like stun set, you could use it with her. The other thing to note here is this A3 expends all Vengeful Spirit and deals 180% damage to an enemy. This attack deals a plus 10% bonus damage per Vengeful Spirit expended. Now we save this one for last because we're going to cover what a Vengeful Spirit is and how you get those stacks, because they stack high. Notice that you do have to get all of her abilities done, and this becomes a 200% damage with the Vengeful Spirit. And a Vengeful Spirit stack is plus 5%. That's quite a bit of damage once you get enough stacks going, but it is a single target. That's the only problem. But the reason why it's okay is because if you go to her passive, grants 1 Vengeful Spirit, max 6 stacks upon the defeat of an enemy, which is great. So what that means is you can get an additional 30% attack damage on your ultimate, which then turns that 200% ultimate from 200 to 230%. And then if you can get her ascended, right? So this is why duplicates of her are nice to have. It becomes Vengeful Spirit 2. And Vengeful Spirit 2 allows for 10% attacks, which then gives you 60% attack bonus, which then turns this right here into a 260% single target nuker damage. And it smacks, guys. It just smacks. It's insane. It's great. The other thing too is, while she has these Vengeful Spirits, I believe this does work with the passive. I don't know exactly if it does, but it does something for sure. So that's awesome. She's definitely worth getting. As far as limited summons go, it's worth it to go ahead and get her. Overall, my overall grade of this limited summon package is going to be one that you're going to pull on, because you get Yolanda, Ciara. Yolanda you're going to want for Queen of Tides 14, as well as any other Queen of Tides content. She's an option to use if you do not have like Mythasia or Blackhorn. You can use Yolanda and rely on her shields and her cleanse. So that's why it's okay to go ahead and get her, because I know a lot of people are struggling to enter into those hell modes of these dungeons And even then, a lot of people are struggling getting to like Queen of Tights 12 because they just don't have the they don't have the healers, right? There's only a few healers that you can actually use in those situations. So having Yolanda is definitely a better option and a viable option for you to have. Now, Ciara, we talked about how good she is. Siress, I know a lot of people are going to be upset if they pull her. I'm okay with pulling her though, because like I said, this is resources I don't have to use to make her. If you don't have to synthesize her, then don't, right? Obviously, I don't want to pull her. We don't want to pull her. As you see here, I am at pity, and I will eat my own words. I told you guys, hey, you guys should at least pull on this banner. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull on this banner. You will notice I'm at 1% plus 20%, which means I am guaranteed a Lego, so you get to see gold. Hopefully I get Ciara. I want dupe Ciaras because I want to get that passive unlocked. However, any of these 3 Legos that I get are going to be well worth it. We did not talk about the epics. Let's go ahead and we'll pull on this banner, and then we'll briefly talk about the epics, and then we'll get covering the magic pass. All right. So we're going to do 1 summon. I have 561, which guarantees me the Lego on this next pull, and then a 10 pull. So let's see what we get. All right, what Lego am I going to get? Please give me a Ciara. That's the one I want. Ciara? There it is. There it is. It was almost like I rigged it. Almost like I rigged it. This time I didn't. I mean, I never rig it, right? All right, we got the one we wanted. That's great. That's perfect. That is literally, you saw the Gangello video. $900 later, we finally got it at the end. That was rough. That was a good start to a limited summon banner. We have 500 more. We'll go ahead and we'll rip it. We'll see what we can get. And we'll see what we get here. This better, can I get another Lego? Nope, no Legos. So, okay, we got epics. And that's okay. We got an Urzog. So now let's kind of talk about what the epics are and if they're any good, which ones you're going to build if you get this banner. And I'm going to do this very quickly. Ricard, he's great to have. He's good for no man's land, for quick farming, for your ascension abilities. Azrina, absolutely waste. She was okay, and then she got buffed, and she's still like, there's too many other viable options that'll be better than Azrina. Urzog, amazing character for arena nuking. Because of his buff and his kit change, he is absolutely god tier for arena. Santis, everybody should know that you want Santis for, well, almost all the content in the game. You can't synthesize her, but having more of her is always a good thing. Melissa is super fast. She's going to be good for arena and for Void Tower. Virgil is one of those where he's kind of an untapped power. There's a few comps out there that use him with the dragon for farming in the dungeon, level 12 dungeons. He's been used in Void Tower. Arena, he is super popular because of his silence. The thing is he's an AoE champion that you're going to get focused on. So this also allows him to be kind of a champion to use with the Rebel set as well. And we're not going to really cover the elites here, but overall, banner's not a bad one. I definitely would recommend pulling. And then let's go ahead and let's go hop over and talk about the Magic Pass. All right, so we are back now, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk very, very briefly about the Magic Pass that's coming and the new character that's coming with the Magic Pass. And I'm going to let you know if it's worth pulling or if it's not worth pulling and what this actually means for your count. Because I know a lot of people were a little bummed that the last character that we got was the Hydricia, because that was a starting character that you can get. Hector as well is one of those characters that's very common to get right at the very beginning. And a lot of people have taken Hector from the get-go off the first rip of the rookie summons, and they've been a little disappointed, but he has had a little bit of reworks. And since the beginning of the game, so to speak, and from soft launch up until now, we've used Hector in a lot of different ways to where now we kind of know where his best in slot location really is and how to really utilize him. So as you can see here, they did announce that the next Magic Pass that'll be out as of probably the day this video releases. I'm gonna try to release this video tomorrow. I'm currently recording the day before reset, so it should be live right as Magic Pass comes alive as well. But basically on their Twitter page, they say, "Dear adventurer, a new Magic Pass will soon be available this season. Hector the Iron Horn will be the rewarded legendary hero. Check out for more details in the game and add this champion or this powerful champion to your team." And they have a picture of an axe. So kind of cool. Obviously you can see here that he is a double axe wielder, and that leads me into talking about his kit. As you see here, he's one of the very few legendaries I don't have. So I'm going to be for sure buying this magic pass because I want him. But let's go talk about what he can do and really how to correctly utilize him, and if he's going to be something that's going to be worth utilizing for your account. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be his ascension trait. Notice that his ascension trait, his basic trait, is 25% max damage, which is really cool. Because it just means he does an additional 25% damage on all of his attacks, right? This is not shown in your stats tab. This is an additional 2, right? Then once you get him ascended, he's actually an A2 ascension. He does an additional 25%. So he literally does a plus 50% damage. So this is kind of like having a avarice set on him. So think of it in that manner where you have a character with their base stats, their base gear, and then you have Hector that comes in here with his ascension, and it works the same way, where it just does an additional amount of damage. So if you have an A1 ascension Hector, you're definitely going to buy the magic pass to get that A2. And if you don't have Hector like myself, I'm going to buy it because I want to get him, because he's very good in certain content. Now, the content that he's good in is volatile. So when we say that, let's look at what he's recommended in. So notice there's no guides listed. They say he is a good candidate for warrior and rage set. We all know rage set is trash. Don't listen to that. Arena offense, you can see his overall grade here. I'm not impressed. I don't really agree with this either. And what's funny is his grade down here is so skewed. It's so skewed. So don't take these as gospel, by the way. Kit wise, he does a lot of damage. He does an applied damage up to, then deals 100% damage to an enemy. That does, well, a lot of damage because it's a plus 50% damage buff with this right here, right? So he's plus 75%, which makes this A1 175%. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he does a lot of damage. His A2 applies a focus boost on self, then deals 100% damage on an enemy and applies increased damage taken to the target for 2 turns. If the target is affected by increased damage taken, then applies the increased damage taken too. What this means is you want to use axe throw twice before like you really do anything extraordinary. This means you will get increased damage taken all the way up to plus 50% damage. His damage will go up that he will do in proc. And then if you go look at his ultimate ability, recalls all axes thrown and deals 200% damage to an enemy and grants 1 bonus turn for every axe. So you at least want to do your A2 before your ultimate on his kit, because this allows you to do a bonus attack, which then allows you to proc not only Whirlwind Chop here, but then allows you to proc again this A2 very quickly because it's a 2-turn cooldown. There's a lot of synergy he can do where he can just like destroy someone's team. That's what he can do. He's a very good single target, like stay in your lane, stay focused. He's going to do a massive amount of damage to a single target. Hands down, him and Gorel are probably the 2 best guild boss damage dealers that are on the fire element. Hands down. Even if going against the wind element, he's even more great. Going against fire element, he's still amazing. I think right now Hector's only getting really rivaled as far as in the fire guild boss by pretty much just by Gorel, still very good, and then now Opal. Opal is now challenging Hector when it comes to the single target nuking ability on the guild boss for the fire element. So he's definitely worth getting. He does a lot of damage. Once again, the magic pass isn't very expensive. It's pretty affordable. It was it's $10, and then it's for the basic, which is all I ever buy. I never buy the $20 one, so don't waste your money on the $20 pass. Get the $10 pass, get the grind in. The other thing to note is that you do have a limited amount of time to get this energy, so make sure you pay attention to this, that you can max this out every week. I did every week, and then people would also freak out because they would try to rush it at the end and could not finish it because they did not know that there was a weekly cap. Challenges passes are nice to have too because, well, It just helps you get them completed and get additional rewards on top of the rewards you get for the Magic Pass. $10 a month, pretty good investment. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this helped you understand who is to get on the limited summons, if it's going to be characters that you want to get for your account, as well as the upcoming Magic Pass, if that's characters that you're going to want to use and really want to focus on getting, because Hector could potentially help your account. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.